So this one day I'm driving down I-10, heading eastbound, and I got my wife sitting next to me in the car. And there was the big giant Powerball sign that said, jackpot $500 million. And I pointed to my wife and I said, that's a retirement plan right there, baby. It's the first time she's ever hit me. Like, she literally just jacked me. That is not, I guess, a strong retirement plan. But we don't know by the time that this episode airs whether there's going to actually be a winner. But at the time of this recording, Powerball jackpot's up to $1.2 billion. Justin,
billion.
What's the first thing you do if you wake up tomorrow morning and you have $1.2 billion?
Gosh, I mean, it seems like it should be an easy answer, but I'm definitely not going to work. Sorry, guys.
That should be an interview question,
right?
Yeah, that'd be a smart one.
Oh, man, I don't know. I think I'm just going to lay there and soak it in for a minute and gather my thoughts and figure it out. But life would definitely change.
See, Ryan and I, we're planners. We've already thought this out.
Right?
We know,
yeah,
right?
We're like, okay.
What would you guys do?
What's the first thing you do?
Well, the first thing I do, gosh, because before we were talking about what's the first thing we would buy, and so for me, I'd invest in real estate. But
that would take time to strategize.
Sure. A lavish vacation would probably be right there at the top with
let's go on vacation.
Private jet.
Yeah,
do
I like
something.
That's something immediately.
Yeah, for sure. We love Costa Rica. We love
right.
We love the tropical areas, and doing something like that and taking the whole family would probably be right there at the top of the list.
For me, this is actually I play this out in my mind when I know that I've invested in Powerball tickets. And yes, I'm using the term invested in Powerball tickets, right? What keeps me up at night about winning is, how do I get to the Powerball office?
That's what I was just thinking.
I would be terrified.
And I would definitely
go to a
anonymous.
local gas station and
here's
no, you guys. There's a Powerball, a lottery office downtown.
Where? Oh, dude, I'm calling my tax attorney. I'm calling my estate planning attorney, Jason. I'm calling those guys, and then I have a couple of cop buddies, and I would say, hey,
those
look,
are your bodyguards.
Yep, go get your full arsenal.
Yeah,
we're heading down to the Powerball.
How much do you pay those guys?
Doesn't matter if you wake up tomorrow and you got $1.2 billion.
Yeah.
Who cares, right? I think the first thing I'm sorry.
No,
Ryan.
the reason why I don't call it an investment, but the reason why I love buying them is you come up with the best damn stories after you bought it. Because what I'll always do is, no matter what it's at, if I know I have a long road trip ahead of me, we always go buy one. And then we just sit there and talk. Yeah, it was just $50 million or $1 billion, whatever it's at. We're going to sit there and say, hey, what would you guys do? And then it always kicks off a good road trip.
Mm-hmm. So I've envisioned what I would do is I would rent out an entire vineyard in Napa, and I would bring the people with me that are going to be an integral part of my strategy. So Cindy, our accountant, would be there. Mm-hmm. Ryan and I are mutually invested together in Powerball tickets, right? And I'd probably bring my brother-in-law, who would become the CFO, and just sit there and say, okay, what do we do? So let's talk about, what do we do with $1.2 million? How would your investment?
Billion. 1.2
I'll still take it. I'll take that too.
I know, but we don't need a whole team of people to figure out how to spend $1.2 million.
We can do that quickly.
All right, Ryan. So how would you, obviously you and I have our own investment strategies, mm-hmm. and I know Justin is very well familiar with investing and has got a slew of investment properties. So we all have our own strategies, our own goals, and let's just say 1.2 billion with the cash out, it's going to turn, what'd you say, into about 600 million?
Yeah, it came out to the cash value was 550 if you took the full lump sum right up front.
Okay, would you take the full lump sum or would you do payments?
It depends what the payments were. Because right there we're wiping out 50% of that 1.2 billion, right? More than 50%. So if it was, and I don't know enough about Powerball. But if it's hey, I get to keep 80% of it, then I'm taking payments. But it also depends on over how long. So if it's 80%, like over 5 years or something like that, which it's probably not, I would probably take that. And then, yeah, I would do some heavy investing. For me, we've already talked about this. We're going to get a handful of vacation rentals, throughout the world.
Absolutely.
And if I get one in Jupiter, Florida, he won't, because he can just use mine, and vice versa. But I would definitely go into some commercial buildings. I think that there's going to be a big play on medical. I think there's a big play on energy. So one of those types of medical or commercial type of units, like we're especially here, they're dumping billions and billions of dollars into TSMC and Intel, and there's just so much stuff going on with that type of commerce. So I'd probably get my money in there too.
All righty. If you wake up and you've won the Powerball and you need some help, we're here to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're sitting on some money and you're looking for real estate investment strategies, we'd like to introduce you to our team of real estate wealth managers that can guide you through the process, help you build those strategies. All you got to do is text the word POWER to 623-AZ-RECON. That's POWER to 623-AZ-RECON. Justin, are you a lump sum guy, or are you a payment guy? And how much influence do you let Sabrina have on that decision?
Well, first of all, we have our own accounts, and it would remain the same way. But,
maybe we didn't win the Powerball. I won the Powerball.
Yeah, right. No. She's probably going to beat the shit out of me after she hears that. But, I think I'd probably go lump sum, and the reason why I do that is so I can get my money to work right away. And I would do commercial real estate as well, but I'd probably try to get into some type of Top Golf franchises. I like that concept. I love how busy it is. I love the atmosphere. I feel like we need a few more around the valley, and I'm sure there's multiple states out there that could use some more of those. And I love to golf, and so I would be sitting there.
You should put in a Top Golf and Quartzsite.
Quartzsite?
Yeah, that'd be perfect for you. Yeah, buy you a little mobile home. For
Get
me,
a couple donkeys.
I don't. Oh my
I had to
God.
throw that in there.
That's
'cause you always-
Tijuana, brother.
Oh, boy.
They'd probably do well there too.
At age 52, I've got to be a lump sum guy. I don't want to drag this out. I'm not as young as you guys. You guys have got an extra decade on me. And so I just need to get my hands on that money. And then two, my fear is if I go through the payment plan, is like, what happens if the lottery and the Powerball goes out of business? I don't know if they can file for bankruptcy. Not 100% sure, but what if they do? What's the fun thing you would do? And for me, Ryan mentioned we would have vacation homes all over the world. Every one that's on the water or near the water, I'm buying a kick-ass fishing boat. I just want to spend the rest of my days hanging out with my kids, my grandkids, and deep sea fishing.
I'm seconding that. I mean, I would buy a huge piece of land to live on. It'd have to have a pond or some type of running water and wrap around porch. I love horses and ranch stuff, so I'd do something like that, and I want to live out the rest of my days with I really want to get into my family.
If you had a large ranch, what would you name it?
Frederick 5 Ranch.
All right, there you go.
Yeah,
That's cool.
we already got that name.
I would want to get my own jet, and
That would be
and
cool.
we could totally charter it out whenever we're not using it and figure out a way to make money on it so that I could sleep well at night, because I know that those are just big liabilities that float around in the air. But yeah, I would want a badass jet and private runway and just land right there on my back porch, and then that would be sweet for me.
All right, again, if you're wake up and you're watching this podcast and you just won the Powerball, we want you to go ahead and text the word POWER to 623-AZ-RECON. That's POWER to 623-AZ-RECON. We're going to give you incredible strategies on how you can invest your money. Even if you didn't win the Powerball and you've got some money to invest, whether it's commercial, vacation homes, long-term rentals, We'd love to have a conversation with you. Again, text the word POWER to 623-AZ-RECON. All right, so now let's just get a little more serious. So the person who wins the Powerball texts us. How do you start advising them on what to do? I can't imagine that if you woke up and won the Powerball, you're actually going to be texting us the first thing. But just let's say they do. We have them on the phone, or we have an in-person meeting.
Oh, first we're starting a corporation. We're going to start developing blocks and abilities for them to harbor their cash and have a little bit less exposure on the tax side, so that they can actually be able to position with it and put them on a plans and create a model that, I know that first things first, that person's going to want to get, some of the fun toys that we were just doing out of the way, and probably a couple of primaries, etc. But usually the people that start investing into the things that they're really passionate about, there's a business for everything, right? Yeah. So if you're passionate about golf, or if you're passionate about ranching or whatever that is, if you invest into it, you're going to likely put a little bit more elbow grease into it and be a little bit more invested mentally into it. So that's probably where we'd start building out their models.
Justin?
Definitely would advise them to get a trust going if they didn't have a trust, for sure, along with the corporations. I think those are key. I feel like you'd have to get those rolling before you really even go
drop a dime.
Right. I know that would be hard to do if you have all that money, but I would highly advise getting those put into a place.
If you woke up with it, would you just try the next morning secretly get Sabrina to sign a prenup or a postnup just to see if you can't slide that past her real quick?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. She'd be living well. Got a good wife.
Yeah, I would definitely concur with you guys. It's not a matter of what do I do with the money. The first thing that you have to do, especially when you inherit or win a bunch of money, is you have to build that strategy, and you have to build that team around you. You can't, I would not advise you to go out and start buying investment properties and investing in this and investing in that without putting together that team that's going to give you the top-notch advice and put you on the path. So you're not wasting money, and you don't lose it. Would we buy, let's say if the three of us, let's say our takeaway was $1 billion. Would we buy a football team?
I'm about to make a lot of enemies right now. I'm buying a church, all tax free for the rest of my life.
Whoa!
I know people that have gone to jail for that, so we're going to have to introduce you to my people.
A football team. I'm more of Ryan Reynolds style, and I'm going to go buy a soccer team. That kind of football team.
Ooh.
That's the highest yielding sport in the world. Brother.
I don't think you could buy a football team for $1 billion at this point, right?
Well,
you could finance the rest of it.
Yeah, it's true.
We'll bring in some other investors. You should be able to, but the bid wills won't sell the Arizona Cardinals. They should. Yeah. It's time. Yeah. It's time to bring in some new ownership in there. All right, if you, again, woke up and you have $1 billion in the bank, you won the Powerball, or you've got a lot of money and you're looking for investment strategies, we'd love to talk with you, our team of real estate wealth managers. This is what we do. We'd love to have that conversation. All you got to do is text the word POWER to 623-AZ-RECON. That's POWER to 623-AZ-RECON.